And I mean, we just got this in from our IDF sources confirming to us that there was an initial DNA check that was done, and that they do believe that they have confirmation that Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar has been eliminated. And we've not seen the IDF put this out publicly here. But I mean, this is pretty significant because as we discussed in the last hour or so, Marni, I mean, you have had Hamas's leadership really toppled one by one by the Israelis in the recent weeks and months. But Sinwar has been the one that they have wanted since October 7th. I mean, there has been such a full court press to find him. There's been discussions about him hiding throughout Gaza. They've put out videos in the past of him escaping his home in Han Yunis, going out through tunnels, and still effectively leading the organization from hiding inside of Gaza. With his elimination, I mean, that is the last major piece to all of this when it comes to the top brass of Hamas, you know, as they have been laid out here. And then you add into the equation as well the elimination of Hassan Nasrallah, the elimination of Hashem Safedin, who was a possible successor to Nasrallah in Hezbollah, operating out of Lebanon here. I mean, there have been some operations carried out in recent weeks to go after some of the major players who pose a threat to the Israelis here. So this is highly significant from what we're hearing.
What do we know about the details of his death and the attack, where it happened, if anything, from inside Gaza?
Yeah, and that is not being released right now, the exact specifics. And the Israelis are always very careful about what they put out, you know, for that. There's always a big concern for their own security, you know, and for, you know, the safety and security of their own troops on the ground here. I mean, but what they're saying is that a strike was carried out in Gaza in which that there were several members of Hamas who were eliminated as a result of all of this. And this is when the rumor mill really started to take hold here. They say that 3 different people were eliminated. And just an hour ago, they laid out the possibility that one was Sinwar. You don't typically see the Israelis do this, Marni, without a high level of confidence. They don't like to get ahead and put themselves in a position in which they could possibly have pie in their face, so to speak. So it's a rarity for them to get out ahead on something like this if they're not close to 100% sure. But that came down about an hour ago that there were operations carried out in Gaza as a result of all of this.
How much does this dismantle Hamas when you have the mastermind of October 7th, now the latest leader of this terror group, taken out? Who then steps into his place?
Who specifically remains to be seen. What I would say to all of this, Marni, is that on the one hand, I mean, you have seen the top brass of Hamas eliminated so systematically in recent weeks that it does have an impact, a trickle-down effect on the operations in Hamas. Now, by that same token, what we have seen time and time again is that there's a propensity for vacuum effects to be created in the wake of all of this. And someone assumes the mantle. You've seen this with Hezbollah, you know, that there are people, you know, who are next in line who step into those roles. I mean, this is how this typically goes here, you know, with the possibility of a vacuum effect taking hold. But again, you know, I mean, you're seeing a lot of major players here within this organization being taken off the board, so to speak, in recent weeks. The Israelis believe in their hearts that by doing this, it will have a major impact on Hamas's ability to threaten Israel in the foreseeable future, as well as carry out their countermeasures against the IDF.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.